Okay, so here is my Jack Sparrow that, if you can see, I mean, you can't really see here that well, but he actually was whiter than that. He was too dead looking. He had a lot of little white spots all over his skin. So I decided to paint him, and so I took all that paint that he had on off the silicone it came with, and here I'm just taking the clothes off to start the process. Right here there is no paint on him. I took everything off, so he is now just pure silicone. Took the paint off the eyes since they are painted. Now the beard and mustache are pretty cool, but I really wanted him with more mustache and more beard, so I will eventually take that off. I took the little beads off the beard there. And what we're going to do here is just yank the whole thing off. Now they would not be reusable, so here we go. That's it. That's history. So I will be adding new hair on there. And eventually, I don't show it here, but eventually I do take off the mustache also. I just yank those hairs off. Now to paint this guy, I used oil-based paint mixed with naphtha. And that was the beginning of it because I wanted to test it out, which is apparently what is good to use on silicone. Now naphtha is bad for you, so all you young people out there who think you're indestructible, do not use it without well ventilation or using a fumes mask. So I made sure I used that when I was working with it, because it is bad for you. What I did is I just mixed up the Platsil number 10, the silicone, part 1 and part A, and mixed in the color, and I just started dabbing all over the silicone. Now I did this, and actually what happened is that I left it to dry, and actually after a day and a half the silicone was still tacky, which is very interesting because when I did the Arnold I used the same silicone and it dried perfect. Here it did not want to dry. So even though you see me here brushing it on, it didn't dry. So maybe the silicone they used for this Jack was different than the Arnold. I have no idea, but either way, the silicone did not want to dry at all. So here I was just working, and giving it some color. Eventually I found out, of course, after a day and a half, that it did not dry. So what I eventually ended up doing is, as you can see here later, is I got some windshield silicone, the stuff you use to seal your windshield for leaks, and I mixed that up with the regular water-based paint, which what you see behind Jack there. It's that little golden brand, and actually mixed in very well with the silicone. You'll see it up here a little bit. Here's the silicone I used. This is regular windshield glass sealer. And I mixed in any color until I got the color I wanted. This is obviously bright orange, but I mixed in other colors to get the color I want. And that is actually just water-based paint for airbrush. And it mixed in very well with the silicone. And it dried like in about an hour and a half. It was dry on Jack. So it was awesome. Here you can see he has no mustache, no eyes. He just looks weird. And the silicone is very shiny right now, but that's normal. It dries shiny, but eventually once everything's done and you like the color, then we just powder them up. And I just did this process back and forth, just added different colors. And then here with a brush, I just started, as you can see, just adding little spots on his skin all over. And I did blues, browns, and some white, and different little dots all over the place. And then over that, I went ahead and did the silicone all over again. Then I used the airbrush to add a little bit more tan to his skin. Now here I went ahead and added the eyes, the glass eyes. Now I didn't show that because I do have a video on how to do that already. So I did that, and I did the dark under his eyes with the airbrush. And what we're going to do now is eventually just add the beard and the mustache. And as you can see, he has a little bit more texture to his skin, which is great because he came very smooth. Here's the hair. And this is just the needle head of a needle. Now I could not find the smallest needle, which I preferred a smaller one, but this worked out okay. But it would have been a lot better if I would have found a smaller needle. What I did is I just got the regular sewing needle, and you just cut the eye, the needle of the eye, in a slant, and then you just get one hair at a time and just start stabbing them. There we go. Right in there, deep as possible there. So I continued doing this, you know, until it adds volume. So I did this for the beard and I did this for the mustache. Of course, I'm not going to show the whole process because it would be boring as hell. So right now it's just so you can get an idea of how I'm punching that hair in. Now there are people out there that are just super fast with this stuff. I'm not fast at all. You know, I take my time, and then to be fast I'd be awesome, but gosh, I mean, I just can't be that fast. But there's people out there that are just incredible fast. Okay, there's a little bit more there now. We added some more beard. In some areas I added a little bit more than just one strand. Then I just pulled them off to get the one strand in. Here I have already added the mustache, and I'm trimming it as best possible. Then after I did all that, I dressed them up, and I added the powder to flatten the whole shininess of them. And I actually like the result. It actually turned out more, you know, more tan, more burnt to the skin than too white. Actually, mine was way too white compared to other ones that I've seen. Other ones are pretty awesome, but mine was way too light. He looked dead. And what I did with the bandana is that I also sprayed the bandana to make it a little bit more darker in color, because to me the bandana it came with was a little bit too dull, not enough life in that bandana. So I eventually just added more color to the bandana. And here's the finished product. Now there, the bandana has not been painted yet. That's the way the bandana came, which it doesn't look bad at all, but I just I've seen pictures where it's a lot darker, so I went ahead and darkened it, as you can see here. Skin tone a little more tan, a lot better than the white look. More mustache, more beard, glass eyes, came to life. He actually looks like he's looking at you. And well, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and let me show you just the last one, how he looked. Enjoy, guys.